What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight I have America's Strongest Man 2020, Marcus Crowder, fresh off his third place finish at the Mammoth Strength Challenge 5 Pro-Am.
Ciao, homie.
Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. We also show you how to replicate some of those events at a smaller scale with objects all around you in your own home. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel so you get notified of all of the latest videos that I release 4 times a week for your viewing pleasure. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. Marcus, how's it going?
It's going good, buddy. How about you?
Good. Sorry to keep you from your sleep.
Oh, no, you're off. It's fine. I'm sorry about how long it took to get on this thing.
How was your flight back in this, I got to use my YouTube language, world situation? How was the flight back?
It wasn't bad. We flew out of Tennessee to Charlotte. I mean, there wasn't that much of a crowd or anything, so I didn't have any issues.
Nice, nice. So, I mean, for people that are living under a rock and don't know who you are 2020 America's Strongest Man in the heavyweight division. Tell people, brag a little bit about your accomplishments in the last year.
ASM was actually my first pro show. I got my pro card actually back in 2018. But I didn't get a chance with everything going on. I got hurt a little bit in 2019, so I didn't really get a chance to compete in a pro show at ASM. So I was actually pretty excited for 2020 to actually kind of show what I could do.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So I was going to ask you later, but since you brought it up, what was your injury? And I think people can kind of get some inspiration about how you worked through it, and just talk a little bit about what the injury was, how serious, and how you pushed through it to I mean, you're a super success. So how did you go through that whole process?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, especially when you get to the pro level of strongman, I mean, it's like another day getting injured wise. I tore my hamstring, and then probably about 6 weeks later, I was still kind of pushing it on a squat, ended up tearing my adductor as well. Just had some bruising. It was more muscle belly. So I had to take almost probably about, I'd say it probably took about 8 months to fully kind of get back into deadlifting and squatting. So kind of, you know, it sucked that the pandemic's going on, but also helped as far as recovery and stuff, because a lot of my competitions I was going to do and maybe try a little too soon, basically they got canceled, so it pushed everything back. As far as injuries and kind of pushing through, I mean, I tore my bicep before. I mean, I've done a lot of different things. So it's kind of like just something you kind of have to deal with when you get to this level, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, how long ago did you start strength training, just in general? Did you do powerlifting before strongman?
Actually, I started competing in strongman first. I used to be a football player. I played for Coastal Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So I'd say I've been probably in the weight room since I was probably 6, but actual like lifting heavy and stuff, I probably didn't start until like 8th grade.
Wow, damn.
Yeah, my dad worked in a fitness center in 1999.
Okay.
So it's one of those I've always kind of grew up in the gym.
Is it like so? I'll tell you a story about my childhood in a second. But when you were a kid, like before you even got into organized strongman, were you looking around for like weird stuff to pick up?
Not necessarily. My goal was always to get like a full ride to college. So football was a little more of a priority in high school. I still always worked out during the off season, but I was doing more like the powerlifting movements, bench, squat, and dead, more so than strongman, because I didn't know of any gyms around in high school and stuff. I was also, probably didn't touch a strongman implement until probably like 2016, and the only thing I had to do was a log and some stones. I met a guy in Graham, actually, which is close by, that he actually makes stones, Tom Tacky and all this other stuff. That's actually how I kind of got involved into it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, so when I was a kid, I was like 10 years old. I had my little bench, you know, with my like 50-pound bench press or whatever. Yeah. But I was an only child, right? So like you had to come up with things to have fun by yourself. So I just like stealing my dad's keys, put it in neutral, and push the car up and down the driveway. That was fun for me, you know?
Yeah.
So
I remember in middle school, we had for football, we had like a little thing like push a gator, like a kind of golf cart, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's somewhat like strongman, but I never even thought of it like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you kind of think back and you link it up, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was that's kind of the stuff I wanted to do. And then kind of like with this whole thing going on right now, I just figured so many people are stuck outside of their gym. So what can you do to, like, I have stones just laying around my property, right? So pick them up, run with them. How can I inspire people to, like, use what's all around you to get in a good, unique kind of workout that'll keep you interested? So that's why I started this channel, and came across the opportunity to talk to you. You can't turn that down.
Yeah. Honestly, it's one of those strongman. I try to get more people involved. A lot of people don't like being uncomfortable. So like going out there and pick up a stone, it being awkward. Usually people don't want to try too many times. I would always say just don't give up on it. You might not be able to pick it up the first time, but keep on trying and trying to figure it out, how to actually pick it up. But the best
Yeah,
way,
I mean,
keeping it interesting is just one of those. Maybe doing it with friends and stuff, trying to get more people involved. Usually helps out with that.
Yeah, I have the same thought process. I mean, nowhere near your level, obviously, but like, for example, I set up an outdoor movie theater at my house while we were under lockdown, just for the kids, have fun, right? So I ordered a bunch of leather recliner chairs, and I just cover them up nice, but leave them outside. So it's funny because the UPS guy comes and they're coming with the dolly and two guys, and I take it as a challenge. I'm like, took them two guys to bring it to the front. It's going to take me just by myself to bring it to the back, right?
Okay.
So that's how I came up with the whole logo. Like, see,
oh yeah,
that's the logo.
There you go.
That's how I came, right? So you take it on as a challenge, like it's a weird implement that no one else is, like you say, willing to be uncomfortable with, but that's fun for me, So
Yep.
I can relate.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. It's the way it is. Be under pressure, basically.
Yeah, for sure. So about ASM, let's talk a little bit more about that. So kind of what were the events there? What did you excel in? What did you find exciting about ASM? Tell me your thoughts there.
ASM was back in November. The events were circus dumbbell, 240, max reps in a minute, basket deadlift. I think the weight was 725, max reps in a minute. A Husafeld carry, 400 pounds for max distance. Bag toss and arm over arm truck pull. I won the first two events. I did 5 reps with the circus dumbbell, and I ended up doing 12 with the deadlift, which put me in first on both of those. And then I kind of stayed in the top of the pack with the rest of them, and it worked out to my advantage.
All right. So I got to stop you there. What tips do you have to get better at circus? Because I basically just got a pair of fat grips, the blue ones, put them on a regular dumbbell. I'm up to, like, I don't know, working on 84 pounds right now. But like, what are your tips to kind of break through plateaus there and do better?
I would say the biggest thing I've noticed with people that kind of help it is slowing the movement down. A lot of people, when they dip, their elbow will kind of come down, so their hand will come out more instead of keeping the elbow up. Slow the dip down and then drive through.
Okay.
I've always been. A lot of people ask me about my pressing. I've always been pretty blessed and had a good pressing. I actually bench pressed 500 in high school as a senior.
Wow.
So it's one of those. It's always kind of came naturally. But when I first tried to do the circus dumbbell, I had trouble. I think it was like 2017 Arnolds with a 220 dumbbell for max reps. I was 8 weeks out. I went from not be able to do it one, started doing dumbbell twice a week, a heavier day and a lighter day, and So I think the more you can kind of get the movement in without getting hurt, the better off you're going to be, because it's also one of those other awkward movements of trying to figure out how to use the leverage of it.
Right. Cool. No, I'm definitely going to try that out, and I'm definitely going to hit you up and let you know how it goes.
All right.
Yeah. So ASM was actually a qualifier for the Arnolds 2021, right? Santa Monica, right?
Santa Monica, yes, sir.
Yeah. So just kind of for the uninitiated among us, like, explain to me the different Arnolds and how Santa Monica fits in.
I think Santa Monica actually just started last year. It's just basically like the last qualifier you can do leading into Arnold's. So basically, if you win Santa Monica, you get to go to the big Arnold's in Columbus.
Nice. So when is that?
Qualifier.
How soon is Santa Monica?
Usually it's in January. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm guessing it got canceled since it's in California with everything going on. So it's just one of those. I'm kind of going with the flow and everything. I'm not.
Yeah. But I mean, the big Arnold's got postponed too, so maybe they'll just postpone all of the qualifiers.
I think Arnold got pushed back to September. I'll be surprised if anything happens unless they move locations. I don't see anything happening in Columbus with everything going on too. But we can hope for the best.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, I want to kind of rewind a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your roots, your background, like interesting stuff about your background the viewers would like to know.
I don't know. You got to ask me. So I don't know. I'm not used to talking about myself too much. I'm pretty much grew up in the gym, so that's basically like all I do. Like I usually don't go out just because I'd rather go wake up in the morning and go work out.
Okay.
Life's kind of boring if you don't necessarily like to live in the gym. So a lot of people, like you said, live on a rock. I pretty much just live in the gym.
Did you have a particular mentor in the gym?
No, I've kind of guided myself through this process of it. I've always enjoyed it. One big thing I loved is like YouTube, Googling different things, and then honestly, a lot of people are scared to go out and compete.
Mm-hmm.
I learned even more actually at my competitions than I do anywhere else.
Really?
So I do recommend for anyone who's like, oh, I gotta get a certain weight first. Go out there, do it, have fun, and I bet you'll learn a lot more.
I gotta say, like, we'll get into Mammoth in a second, but I was telling a buddy of mine, like, Marcus looks like he's having more fun than anybody else there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it on your face.
Yeah, it was different. Prep with the I hurt my hamstring actually going into this competition too. It actually ended up being my other one. It bruised up a little bit. So prep didn't go as good as I wanted to, but it's also one of those. Most of these guys, I mean, it's what we're used to. Like you kind of got to push through it. So kind of going out there, I was actually. That's what I wanted to do, was just go more, have fun to see what happens. Yeah.
So. Hey, good things happened for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out pretty good for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy experience.
Yeah,
definitely a little different.
Yeah, so then we touched a little bit about kind of how you got into Strongman. Basically, you just evolved from just being a gym rat, right?
Well, third grade, I saw Mark Spinoski on like ESPN and stuff when there used to be metrics, World's Strongest Man. So I always knew I wanted to get in the strongman. I just didn't know. I knew I had to do football first, get my degree, and then take it there.
That's a good idea. I mean, get the degree first, right? So you have kind of not a fallback, but you know what I mean, a good baseline. Yeah, That's cool. So which strongman did you really were you a big fan of growing up?
I'll always be a Big Z fan.
Big Z, yeah.
Big Z. I'll always be a Big Z fan. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? So why?
Just the way he presents himself. I feel like he's always really consistent, especially in the younger days. A really good presser. So I always looked up to that type stuff. Really nice guy. I met him one time at Arnolds.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So just
he seems really even keeled. Like he's not an emotional up and down guy. He seems really even keeled.
Pretty straightforward. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm thinking of who I like the best, and I wouldn't call him even keeled. I'd probably Magnus Samuelson.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's really an emotional guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, if we're going back to the old stuff, yeah, probably Kazmaier then, which he's totally opposite of Big Z. So.
Have you seen some of the recent interviews with Kaz? He's like a philosopher.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I mean, honestly, lately, social media and everything with all the politics stuff going on, I haven't even been getting on myself that much.
Yeah, I hear that.
So negative nowadays. I try to stay really positive. So most of the time, if people actually put their phone down and live life, you wouldn't see as much as you see now.
That's true. That's a good point. So the next thing I wanted to ask you was, like, some of the guys kind of have quote unquote day jobs. So are you focused totally on training, or do you have like a quote unquote day job?
So I own a fitness center. So I've actually been pretty lucky that, like, especially during prep, my manager, my wife, my dad, they all help me out a lot. So it's one of those I can actually do certain things that most people don't necessarily get to do. I kind of make my own schedule and everything. So
nice.
It's one of those I get very blessed with that.
Yeah, for sure. What's a typical training day for you? I mean, I know it's different on different days, but just pick one.
I usually do a 4-day split, usually lower body, upper body. And then I'll do like a certain days, especially getting closer, I'll do more event base type stuff.
Yeah.
Depending on what's coming up. But usually some type of overhead press on my upper body day. My second upper body day, because I still do powerlifting a little bit. Unlike most strongmen, I still keep my bench in there, tracking my bench up. And then my lower body days, I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit. And usually I deadlift each week. I'm going to try doing this like a 10-day split. So basically deadlift heavy every other week almost.
Okay.
Just
gotcha.
see if that would help the hamstring in rehab and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So how did you find out about Mammoth? Like, what attracted you specifically to Mammoth this year?
Oh, I know David. He invited me. Yeah, he invited me for ASM. And I thought, I wouldn't mind just getting the everything under the belt, basically. More experience that off going to be.
Yeah, it looked
those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was able, in addition to yourself, to get a lot of like high profile top end guys.
Yeah, pretty much I was the only one that hasn't been invited to Worlds yet.
Really?
Yeah, everyone else there has been to Worlds, so it's pretty cool.
Why the hell haven't you been invited to Worlds? Like,
Well,
so let me
I'm now
ask
getting
this:
out
like,
there.
how does one get invited to Worlds? Let's start with that.
So before the COVID stuff, usually you have to do a Giants Live qualifier. You place top 3 there, then you get to go to Worlds.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I still
All
got,
right.
still got a lot to prove, but it's one of those. I'm not in no rush.
Yeah, no, I hear that. No, it'll happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about some of your injuries already. Let's see. What did you? I know you didn't participate. Oh no, you did. Sorry, I was going to say in the record breakers, you did the Mauser, right?
Yeah. So with I didn't want, because of the hamstring, I didn't want to take too many attempts. So I actually went to open with 360. The week out, I was a little under the weather, so it was weird because I was hydrating all week, and then for some odd reason, at the top, my core kept on cramping up. So I couldn't stay stable at the top, so I ended up missing 360. And then after the second attempt of missing, I was like, I don't want to get too tired out before the competition.
Yeah, I was wondering because I was watching you, and on one of those attempts, I'm like, he's an inch from locking out. Like, what's going on?
It was different. I think next time, because Steve actually got it up to 370 now. I think maybe next year if I did it, I wouldn't do the competition. I'll just do the record breaker.
Really?
I think, yeah, just so I can focus on one thing.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually going to kind of ask your opinion on how David has it all set up with the you hold the. It's almost like boxing, right? Like you hold the championship until somebody beats it. Like he's paying out every year whether you go back or not.
That's just the sandbag.
Oh, it's just the sandbag.
Just
okay.
the sandbag he's paying out. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So you get to use your name on there no matter what, but it's one of those. The sandbag was the only one that, if anyone would have lifted, that got $1,000.
So what did you think about that opening weight on the sandbag? I have my opinions, but I want to hear from an experienced person.
Just looking at it, the weight was fine. I think they both would have got the weight if the bag would maybe been a little more tight. So what he did was put a lead shot in it. So basically, when you go to pick it up, all the heavier weight's gonna be like in the middle, so it's kind of gonna fold up.
Right.
So I think if maybe if the bag was maybe a little more stiff, I think they would have got it.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, Trey and West, they're powerful.
Yeah, because I mean, I was going back to when I don't know if you call Strongest Man in History at all on History Channel.
I haven't had TV in a while, so
okay.
Some of it, I didn't get a chance to actually watch it though.
Okay, so there was one episode where the guys went to it was a bar, and basically I forget which strongman from history they were trying to emulate, but you had to pick up a 400. I think his was like 480 or something, and so the 4 guys decided it was a lie and it was impossible, so they were going to do 400 instead. So they picked it up, walked around the bar with it, but only Nick Best and Obi were able to do it. Like I think Brian Shaw was injured, so he didn't try, and Eddie wasn't able to do it. So I thought, like, if 400 is challenging, like 500 is impossible. Like, why start so high?
Well, they had other ones. Just 500 was the record, so they had like little sandbags to warm up with. It's just attempt the 500 was that.
Oh, I thought I heard that there was no record yet for that, and it was being established.
I'm not 100% sure. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought David told me. Maybe I misheard that.
It could be. It could be. Dave likes to go big or go home. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So you think anybody's going to get it next year?
Like I said, I think if they tried it again next year and the bag's a little more stiff, I think it's a good possibility.
Yeah, like those that stiff black material rather than the squishy.
Just basically, if you go to pick it up on it and all the weight goes right down the middle, it's going to fold like a sandwich. So it's a little harder to grip.
Yeah. I wonder.
If it's stiff, it'd be like a little more like a kind of like the block. You know how the block's stiff all the way across.
Yep.
So it's easier to row in instead of kind of folding up.
Speaking of the block was a nemesis of a lot of people. So tell me, in your opinion, like, why is that? Why did the block give so many people fits?
It's one of those, you don't get a chance to train it. It's going to be a little harder. Like I know me and Trey actually got to train a block implement. Trey had to do the concrete slab, which I heard is even harder to stabilize. I got lucky I can go to Spider in Raleigh and still train. I probably touched it. I was going for the record more. I've probably done about 12 sessions now with the block. So out. And plus being a pretty decent presser, just kind of getting used to like the pick and everything, it helps out a lot.
Yeah.
I think these guys would got a little more chance to kind of train it. They would have been fine.
The funny thing is that's
heavy, but it's not heavy for them.
Okay. Does the weight shift around inside?
No, it's awkward. Like, I don't know if you saw Bobby, but we're so broad, it's hard for us to kind of get our hands down into it.
Okay.
So it's a little more getting into that position. And then once you get in that position, it's a little awkward as far as the balance because your wrists kind of come back and forth. So it's a little different, especially at the top. It will shake a little bit, but not the weight itself.
Okay.
He has pins in there that basically like little washers, so it keeps the weights pretty even.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't a matter of like you're bending over backwards too far.
It could be a little different things. It's just
Yeah.
finding the right leverage.
Yeah.
One of those you gotta make it work, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, the funny thing is, that's the way that I found out about Mammoth in the first place. I saw Trey and Gabe Pena training it on IG.
Okay.
And so I reached out to Gabe. I was like, hey, is this, I had never seen it before, right? So I was like, hey, is this for a competition or are you guys just groundbreaking? And he goes, no, it's for Mammoth, blah, blah, blah. That's how I found out. And then I got to be friendly with Dave Waters and John Greaves. And they were like, oh, you want to do the after show? And it snowballed from there. But that's how I found out about Mammoth in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
But so on the block, you came in second on the block, right?
Yep.
In the main events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, I'm the only one. Me and Trey are the only ones that got the block. So I know I actually got fortunate where I can go second to last. So it's one of those. By the time I got to the Viking, I basically knew I didn't want to go all out because if Trey did beat me, it'd be about 1 point. So it wasn't one of those where I kind of want to see where he was going to be at.
Yeah.
So I already knew no matter what, I'd get first or second. So I wasn't going crazy with it.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, so talk about that. I think there's a lot more of how do I say, pacing yourself in strongman than most people realize.
Yep. So usually they do by like you sign up, first ones to sign up or last ones to go. So usually it's better for you to sign up faster, so that way you can kind of see the competition go, and then you can base it off that.
Ah, interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not going all out on every event. You are conserving energy for specific, like strategically.
If you're fortunate enough, yes. But sometimes you have to because usually you don't know. You want that placement for the next one because the winner of that gets to go last the next one too.
Okay.
You kind of see what everyone's doing.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, did you like Mammoth overall? Like, would you return next year?
It was definitely a crazy experience. I think ASM spoiled me a little bit as far as I like to go to warm up and then just go because we got there at 9 o'clock and then I don't think we started until like 1:30. So we're at ASM. As soon as we got there, we kind of like watched the women go and then we started warming up and then boom. So I think the 140 guys going before us and guys and girls, it's definitely one of those. It's a long day. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all, but it's also one of those. ASM just spoiled me because it's like I was there for 3 hours, competed 2 events, left, came back the next day, did the same thing. So as far as time consuming, overall, yeah, I mean, if they wanted me to come back and I had nothing else to do, I'd probably do it. But it's not one of those, I want to do it and do it again type thing either.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell from the stream too. There was a lot of pause with the pros. Like, why? What was going on with so much pause in between events? Was it warming up or was it something else?
A little bit of the warming up. I don't know. Like I really don't even know how to explain Saturday. Once we got to the deadlifts, we're all warming up, and then it accidentally got misloaded to like 870, which would have been a huge PR for me. Like I've never pulled 870 yet. I think that kind of threw some people off, and we also think the axle might have been a little heavier than what we thought it was going to be originally. Because Bobby's the only one that actually got through to the car. And Wesley and all the Trey, they're all really good deadlifters, and they couldn't even break the floor with the axle. I think after that, it kind of just, I'm not saying it went downhill after that, but it definitely was a different atmosphere after that.
It was a little shocking, yeah. I mean, so you think that the 9-inch deadlift was actually around 870?
Yeah, no, it was. We added up afterwards. It was like
did you really?
It was like 870.
Wow.
It was supposed to be 800. Ended up being I think 875 or 8. I don't know. Bobby added it up afterwards because even Bobby and them had a little trouble with it, and they're 1,000-pound deadlifters, so that should go. I mean, Bobby could do 800 for like 10, so it should go even faster than what it did for him. So going into that, like, even with a torn hamstring, I could pull 800. So that when I couldn't even get off the floor, I knew something was up.
Yeah,
so we added up afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay.
Are you close with Bobby? Like, you guys talk a lot?
Yeah, no, Bobby. I bet Bobby. Me and him competed back at Arnolds when he beat me. Before he got his invite to the main stage Arnolds.
Yep.
He's been a great guy ever since. So,
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, we keep in touch on Instagram and stuff all the time, social media. That's
Yeah,
one thing
he's
about
awesome.
strongman community though. Like I've never met anyone that's not worth talking to at strongman. Everyone has
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
personality. Everyone wants to help everyone. Everyone, if you watch, we're all cheering each other on, stuff like that. So
yeah, it's funny. Like every competitor I talk to, I've done a few interviews now, and everybody I talk to says the same thing. Like, and,
yeah,
and I've noticed it too. Like, I liken it to like I reach out to you on IG, and you're like, "Yeah, bro, sure, no problem." If I reached out to like LeBron, he would never answer me. You know what I mean?
I try to keep up with everything, like especially like Instagram, especially when I get new followers and stuff. I try to follow everyone back, but it's so
Yeah,
hard to keep, like especially over the weekend, because a lot of people are wishing me good luck and stuff. It's just hard to kind of stay with it.
yeah.
So that's one
I'm just
time.
trying to
Sometimes,
bring a little more attention. You know what I mean? You guys and girls all work really hard, really
yep,
dedicated. I'm just trying to get you a little more attention. You know?
yep.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that about the weights because, like, Alila Worley told me the same thing. She's like, whatever the event was, that had to be heavier than they said because too many strong girls like couldn't do it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It happens though. Like I'm used to certain competitions where we gotten lucky and the weight ended up being lighter, and then sometimes it gets heavier. So it's one of those you kind of, especially at big shows like this, like it's mistakes going to happen. We're human.
Yeah.
So like, so I know some people got a little upset, but it's also like it is what it is too. Everyone had to do it. So, but it is the
Right.
first time I've zeroed an event, so that was definitely heart shattering a little bit.
Yeah, I know. So the other thing is like, what's the deal with the truck pull? Why didn't it happen?
Um, so Stan he attempted it. The air brakes kind of released slow. I'm not too sure um exactly what happened with that part. Um, and then he rested for a second because he cramped up a little bit trying to pull on it when he still had the brakes on, kind of. He attempted it again. It didn't budge. So it's kind of like Bobby made a decision. He was like, "Hey, I'm in the lead right now. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Would y'all be willing to go ahead and just call it, and then I'll split some of the prize money." So
Really, I was going to ask you about that. Like, if the truck pull had gone through, like, do you think that helped you or hurt you not being able to do it points wise?
oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was a thick rope. Stan's a strong guy, and he didn't budge it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Well, you gave him all. I gave him all, but it's also like I'm kind of like I'm lucky to not be hurt, so I'm not complaining either.
Yeah. I mean, did they count Stan's run or they just said like it's invalid because of the brakes?
We just went. It was everyone just took the zero basically.
Okay.
We just scratched the whole thing. Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the official results, like if they have it on a Google Doc and they only have, I mean, you're on there because they have the podium, but they don't have anyone else. I guess Travis was 4, Wes was 5, and Stan was 6.
Yep. That was it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And
honestly, Travis wouldn't got hurt with the load medley. He'd been one of the top ones.
he was looking good. He
Yeah,
was.
and trucks pull his thing. Like if his bicep wouldn't got hurt, I think he would definitely have tried to pull the truck, and he probably would have had a good chance of moving it too.
Yeah.
I'd have been excited for that because he's known for that. Like that's his forte.
He was looking strong. One of my buddies on YouTube, Hunger Smash Fitness, just interviewed him right before Mammoth. And if you get a chance to get on YouTube and check it out, like it's a great interview. Travis is a really interesting guy to listen to.
Yeah, he's nice. He's a nice guy. He's known with someone that first time actually meeting him in person was at ASM. He's a great guy too.
Yeah, but I remember like I was watching on the stream and I'm like, wow, he's looking big.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Big guy, nice. Like he'll talk to you. I mean, have any questions and stuff like that. Makes jokes. We're all joking the whole time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. But it's funny, like you said that about Trey not being able to budge the deadlift because before Mammoth, I was telling everybody, I'm like, Trey's going to do damage. I don't know if you saw him at Shaw, but Shaw Classic, Trey did awesome on deadlift.
Yeah.
So I was telling everybody he's going to do damage on deadlift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 870. I mean, it took a lot out. Going from 870 to even if it was 900, going from 870 from a 9-inch pick to axle 900, it's pretty taxing on the body. So.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
I
only deadlift 3 plates, so I'm good with that.
Once I saw it didn't break for them, I knew I was like, it had to be heavy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Travis said he hit it. I think that was a PR for him with the 870 deadlift. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I saw him do 1,000, but on an axle on an 18-inch, not on a.
Yeah. I'm not sure his past numbers, but he probably has.
Yeah. Yeah.
18-inch is gonna be a little different on with a regular deadlift bar than from the ground.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, like, if I had to ask you, what do you like best about Strongman? What are some of the things you like best about Strongman?
As far as like events or like this the overall experience?
Overall experience. I mean, if you have a story that you think might connect with the audience and kind of inspire people, that would be awesome.
Honestly, it's the friendly atmosphere, like the group. Like I like that. Like everyone's doing their thing. Everyone wants to do the best, but they also are rooting for everyone else. I kind of like that. It's like almost like I guess say like a family environment type thing.
Yep.
Which I always like about that because everyone wants to kill it, but they're also like, we want you to kill it too, type thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's great. So I got to show you something before we go. Let me just share my screen here. Let's see. That should work. And all right, do you see that?
Yep.
So I just got to take credit because I predicted you in third.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, though, Travis Wood got hurt. I don't think I would have podium. He was killing me. He was killing me this past show. So I was actually I'm glad it wasn't like that was the muscle belly, not the tendon, but it's also like this is a good show for him. Bobby, and Ted are really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my buddy has been in contact with him. He's calling it minor, so hopefully he heals up fast.
Yeah, he said he didn't think it'll be too bad. Yeah, being the belly is actually the best case scenario for a bicep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I think he was just more kind of irritated because he's passionate about the sport.
Oh yeah, and he was doing, like I said, he was doing really good. So
yeah. So like, how did I get the events here? So I had you winning overhead, and so you got second there, right? So I was pretty close. How did you do deadlift?
I zero deadlift. I couldn't get the 870.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I came dead last. Me and Stan couldn't get the first one, and I think only Bobby made it to the car.
Right. Okay. So that was fairly close there. Farmer's frame, how'd you do there?
Farmers, I think I took third. I think Bobby and Travis was the only one that completed those.
Third, 6 points. So I got that one right too.
Yeah.
And then how about stones? I don't have the official sheet up.
I'm not sure on stones.
What did you think of the stones? Like with the 4 different implements, did you kind of prefer one to the other? Do you think 4 is too many for that distance? Like, what did you think of that overall?
I think the whole show was pretty heavy, so it's gonna make things a little tougher. We were pretty beat probably from then, especially after everything else. Definitely doing the record block beforehand probably wore me out a little more than I should have been for this kind of heavy show. But I think it was too much. I mean, maybe a little lighter would have been nice. Trey probably could have completed it if he needed to, but all he needed was 3 to win. So it's one of those. It could have been done if Trey was pushed. If he had some people that could have got all of them.
Yeah.
As well.
I mean, strategically, like, how do you approach a medley like that? Like, is there a particular, the Mauser, the Husafel, the Natural, or the Atlas? Like, which do you do first and why?
Yeah. So I knew the Atlas Stone was going to be the toughest one for me. So my original plan, even going in, was just to get 3. And I was hoping it was going to be split time. So the fastest 3 you can get, the winner. But he was doing basically if you complete it, wherever you complete. So if everyone got 3, no matter what the time was, you only got 3. So going into it, I kind of had set to basically do the Natural Stone first, because I thought that would be the second hardest for me, the block, and then the Husafel. But when I got to the Husafel, I don't know if I was just gassed or what, but that forehand wasn't moving for me.
Yeah, I mean, typically, let's say if you had to do just a Husafel, would you say Husafels are easier because they have the edge that can sit on your forearms, or am I wrong about that?
No, I usually Husafel. That's why I did it last, because I thought it would be the easier one for me.
Okay.
Usually I can pick a 400 from the ground pretty easy, but I didn't train the way I probably should have leading up to that. But it's just one of those. It is what it is, kind of now.
How much lead time training did you have for this contest? I
think it was 8 weeks after ASM. So
okay.
I took a week off and then kind of got back into it. So was that 7 weeks? I guess 6-7 weeks. After I tore the hamstring again. It bruised up on me about December 10th. So I kind of backed off, tweaked it again a little bit. So now I really backed off. So I probably like the last 4 weeks leading into it, I didn't even go past like 600 deadlifting. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, so building, since I have you, I gotta ask you for tips, right? So building up your deadlift over the years, like how early in your career did you use straps? Is it like build up the grip first and don't go to straps right away? Like how would you advise somebody trying to build their deadlift?
I always, back in the day, I used to be more of a swatter. I swatted 800 before I pulled 800.
Oh, wow.
It was one of those, I was definitely like taking any advantage I could when I was younger, which I probably shouldn't have. So I strapped up pretty much from the get-go. Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't recommend it. If you can go overhand or even, over under, as long as you don't have any issues, I recommend that to kind of build this grip strength.
Okay.
That's one thing I'm lacking right now too that I need to work on is grip strength. So.
All right. Cool. So then, how would you progress though? So like, keep going with your deads until you hit 12 reps and then add 25 pounds or something like that?
This is probably more a question for Bobby.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I think everyone has a different way of training. You kind of have to figure out what works for you. Me personally, I'm not doing really 12 reps unless I have an AMRAP event. So usually, because I'm trying to build my 1 rep. So I'm usually staying between 3 to 1 rep, maybe 5s if anything. If I'm getting volume in, it just kind of depends on it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll do what you do. It's working for you.
Yeah, but like I said, you gotta kind of figure out how your body works best. To adapt, newer people to it, but they have a lower weight. They can probably do a little more volume than I do.
Yeah.
So I keep on hurting my lower body. I backed off a lot with the total volume and kind of just played around with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got a couple little maniacs running around. So I'm working, I take care of them. I run over to the garage, do a few sets when I can. It's hard to get a whole workout in, you know?
I think the biggest key would be just being consistent.
Yeah.
Have a plan, try to stick with it. Maybe train when maybe the wife's home so that she can watch the kids. So you got to focus on that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dedicate a little more to it type thing.
Yeah, I mean, like basically, I tried deadlift for the first time like 6 months ago. I was making a video about like how close could a everyday guy get to Eddie Hall,
Okay.
and yeah, so I think I started off 275. I'm 3 plates now, but like a little bit of that's newbie gains, right? So that's not going to continue like that. But
figuring the technique out and everything. A lot of I changed my stance on my deadlift, and I ended up gaining 50 pounds one time. So it's one of those, keep trying different forms, and really focus on the tightness.
How did you? So what stance modification did you make? Because I noticed for me, I saw Nick Best doing narrow, and that works better for me. Narrow legs.
So a lot of people say narrow, especially on a deadlift bar, because you want the whip a little more. I have wider hips, so I actually like when I brought my feet out. Usually beforehand, I used to miss the deadlift at the top, so I widened my hips out. I mean my feet out a little bit. It actually helped me carry it all the way through and lock it out a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, like, if you ran into somebody that wants to start getting into strongman, what are the kind of key pieces of advice you would give them?
Make it fun, stay consistent, and then basically don't give up because it's going to be tough, especially the more competitive you get with it. If you're just doing it for like hobby and stuff, I mean, you want to take it serious, but it's also like do it with a group of people, have fun with it. Make it the hobby that you want to make it, but still push it.
Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So now, what's the next most exciting stuff in the future for you? What do you have planned that people would be excited about?
So right now, the only thing I technically have planned, I'm gonna do Anthony's show. He's on the American Log Championship type thing, April 30th. So I'm gonna go for the American record in the log, and then after that, I have no idea.
They streaming that at all?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen as much detail.
I'm gonna look into that. Yeah,
I definitely want to focus on each competition one at a time. So I was more on the Mammoth thing. So now I can kind of focus on that now.
Yeah. I mean, like from an outside perspective, it seemed like Mammoth was a heavy show. Like, would you agree? Compared to World's Strongest Man, it seemed heavier.
It was a heavy show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely heavy. I knew going into it was gonna be heavy. Once the numbers, we actually had a group chat, so the numbers he actually gave to us beforehand was even heavier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's one of those. I mean, you gotta learn. So why not push it? At first, I think I bet David will tell you that he's learned probably a whole bunch from this past show. I'm willing to bet each year is going to get better and better.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, you know what's another question I want to ask you? Just like given the lower crowd this year, like, do you typically perform and feed off the crowd's energy, or it doesn't matter to you?
I haven't had like a big crowd yet, if that makes sense. Most of my competitions haven't been like, Eddie Hall was, he did his the deadlift record. He had 5 or 10,000 people cheering him on, saying his name. Yeah. I feel like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would feed off that. Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So tell everybody on here to wrap it up how they can follow you. Anything you want to plug, feel free. Go ahead.
Just follow me on Instagram. I get on Facebook every now and again. I don't post too much about my my lifting stuff just because I'm more on Instagram. I honestly don't know my handle. I think you might know my handle more than I do.
I will grab it right now. Hold on one sec. You are
follow
Crowder
me-
underscore NMFTHE Pit.
Yep. So yes, follow me on there. Shoot me a message if you need help. I'm always willing to help out if I can. Stuff like that.
Do you do coaching out of your gym at all?
I help. I help. I wouldn't say coaching. It's more like advising. But I'm one of those that I try to give tips. I say this works for me. It might work for you type thing. Me and Lisa, she actually works for me. So I help her out a lot, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, like I was trying to get a hold of her too after the competition. I figured like you guys were out eating or something. I haven't heard back from her, but
we pretty much ate right afterwards. They actually grouped the heavyweights together, heavyweight, middleweights, and I think I don't know if the lightweights were with them, but I know the middleweights and the heavyweights were together. So I mean, it was a tough competition for her. The farmers were painted handles, so that was really tough. I think her axle tire deadlift 2 was heavier than expected. At least it felt like it. She strained her back a little bit on it, but it's one of those comes with the territory of being a strong woman.
Yeah, I definitely want to get her for an interview one of these days. I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she drove up there with a friend. So she's definitely probably even more exhausted than me. I got lucky and I flew.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't know why they grouped the ladies together like that, but I had Alila Worley and Katie Rogers on here, and they were kind of talking about that. And yeah, like I mean, it's unfair for the middleweights, right? Like,
it's different. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on here. I really appreciate it. I know you're tired. You kind of worked really hard there at Mammoth, heavy show, but thanks again for jumping on and for being such a nice guy, giving some great tips for me and for all the audience. And
hope it helped out.
Yeah, stay in touch, brother. We'll definitely talk again soon. Next time you got something big going on, let's get together again.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, take care, man. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, later. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.